Greetings viewers, Hugh here coming to you from Feltham Station in West London. Now, I want to talk about cross-London railways. How many are there? Well, of course, right off the bat, there's the Elizabeth line that opened a couple of years ago that's a brand new underground railway that links two major main lines together. And if you're slightly more knowledgeable, there's of course Thameslink, that links the Midland and Brighton main lines via Victorian Tunnel Link that was reopened in the 1980s. And if you're really knowledgeable and have watched our previous videos, you're of course aware of the southern service that goes between Croydon and Watford via the West London line. But did you know there is actually another cross-London railway service that existed for 2 years, very briefly, that ran east to west? And that's why I'm here at Feltham, because in this video I'm going to be telling the story of the London Crosslink service and tracing its route. Let's go! The London Crosslink was a cross-London railway service that ran between May 2000 and September 2002 that connected Basingstoke in Hampshire to the main towns of Ipswich, Colchester and Norwich along the Great Eastern Main Line in East Anglia, via the North London line. The service was operated by Anglia Railways, who prior to 2004 operated intercity services between London Liverpool Street and Norwich, as well as some regional services around Suffolk and Norfolk. Despite the route being almost entirely electrified, with it having 25 kV AC overhead wires between Norwich and Acton and 750 volt DC third rail between Acton and Basingstoke, a small section of freight-only track that was used by the service, linking the North London line to the Hounslow Loop, was unelectrified, meaning that diesel stock had to be used. Anglia Railways chose the Class 170 Turbostars to operate the route in a 3-car formation. The route of the service started out at Basingstoke, where it would run along the South West Main Line through Woking until it branched off onto the Chertsey line, and then joined the Waterloo to Reading line through Staines and Feltham, then joining the Hounslow Loop line through to Brentford, where it would then branch off onto the North London line and run the rest of its length to Stratford, where it would then join the Great Eastern Main Line towards Norwich, although its eastern terminus always varied. This service was, however, very short-lived, mainly due to capacity shortage on the North London line, with it sharing space with Silverlink Metro and freight traffic, which ultimately led to a very infrequent and unequal service. The lack of services travelling the full length of the route to Norwich, and infrequent calling patterns at stations like Camden Road, Willesden Junction, Brentford and Romford, combined with an overall lack of passenger traffic, led to the service ceasing in 2002, after only 2 years of operation. Anyway, what my goal is for this video is to try to retrace the route of this old service through London as best as I can, and through this I've decided to travel between Feltham in the far west of London to the peaceful Essex village of Ingatestone, using the former route as best as I can. It's quite ironic that a journey that could be made on just one train 20 years ago now requires at least 3 trains and 1 bus to complete. Anyway, let's go back to me at Feltham as I travel to Ingatestone along the route of London Crosslink. The first phase of my route in retracing the route of the Crosslink service, starting here at Feltham obviously, is to get an SWR service to Kew Bridge, and today they're all running from Windsor, which is a bit weird. They normally run to Weybridge, but we're going to get an SWR service to Kew Bridge. It didn't actually call it Kew Bridge, but I'll explain that in a minute. And yeah, from there we're going to get to the North London line, which is the main way that it got round London, as does the southern service actually. But yeah, we're here at Feltham, we're going to be getting SWR to Kew Bridge. So we've just left Feltham, we are now on our way to Kew Bridge. Now I should explain why I'm not getting off at Brentford, which is the station, the only station on the Hounslow Loop that this service stopped at. Now the reason why is that for pure convenience to get onto the North London line I've got to travel between Kew Bridge and Gunnersbury, as they are the two closest points on this line. What the trains actually did when they came off the Hounslow Loop is they would use a freight line which links the Hounslow Loop to the North London line. And fun fact, there's actually talk of the section between Hounslow and Brentford to be reopened, well I say reopened, but converted to the use by London Overground, so that track might actually come into use at some point. So who knows, if I was filming this 15 years into the future, maybe I could actually trace the route slightly more accurately. But yeah, that's my first point to make, that I'm not going, you know, track by track with this. I'm just trying to follow it as close as I can using the modern rail amenities, as I don't have those pesky Class 170s to help me. Left Cyan Lane, the next station is Brentford, and well, of course the trains did stop there. There's the announcement for it. What I will do after we leave Brentford is point the camera out there and show you where the track is, where the trains used to go off, and then head onto the North London line directly. It still uses a freight line today, I believe. And fun fact, actually, Brentford Football Club's stadium, I think their new stadium, I think it was built quite recently, is actually kind of in the middle of this triangle of track, with one side being the Hounslow Loop, another being the North London line, and the other one being that track link. So that's quite cool, if you ask me.
Here we go. This is us.
Brentford. This is where the trains used to call. Although sadly not. Okay, you will have just seen the track link, so we've deviated from the route slightly, but we're pulling into Kew Bridge now, and now my second stage is to get the bus to Gunnersbury. That's phase one of my route done. We just went past the track link with the North London line, but sadly, of course, can't ride that bit of track. But either way, now I've got to either walk or get the bus to Gunnersbury, where we're going to get the overground all the way to Stratford. So yeah, a bit of a long haul one, that. So I am at Kew Bridge Station bus stop right outside. We're going to be getting the 1:10 bus to Gunnersbury. Let's go. Gunnersbury Station bus stop, just a quick walk from the station itself. Thank you, bus. Gunnersbury's probably one of the weirdest stations I've had to enter. I've only been here by getting off a train and standing on the platform before. There's a sign here saying the station's here, but I've got to walk under a building to get to the station, which is, yeah, certainly a little weird. Okay, so we've made it to Gunnersbury. I've got a 10-minute wait for the next overground train to Stratford. Yes, phase 2 of the journey is to go all the way to Stratford on the overground. So it's going to be a long old one. I'm going to try not to film too much, just basically calling points and of course interesting locations along the way. But yeah, we've got to wait for the 14:53 to Stratford. So see you then. On the second train of this mega journey. Now, I'm not going to film much on this trip because it's very long and the train is very busy. So I'm just going to notify you of the calling points when we get to Stratford and, well, enjoy a nice montage. Now, next stop Stratford. This has been a really busy journey, so glad I didn't film too much. Anyway, next stop Stratford. Stratford! We have now completed the across centre bit, as we've just got the North London line. We have now made it to Stratford, the busy terminal right here. Now, I did not film much on that train because it was really, really busy. You can see the amount of people that were on it behind me. It was really busy between Highbury and Islington and Stratford. It was crazy. So you will have seen the montage. And the calling points that the Crosslink service did were quite varied. There were only 2 stations that I believe had consistent calling, and they were West Hampstead and Highbury and Islington. This is why I didn't do much filming on the train. It is so busy at the moment. I can't even get my camera out the train. It is rammed. Other stations had calling as well, but it's all very confusing. The service pattern on the Crosslink was crazy. But anyway, now it's time for the 3rd and final phase of our journey. I now am going to get Greater Anglia over there to Ingatstone. Let's go. To get to Ingatstone, I have to get a Greater Anglia train to either Braintree or Clacton, as those are the only 2 that stop at Ingatstone. And the next train, which is in about 25 minutes, is a Clacton train. So we're going to head up to platform 10 to get Greater Anglia.
A few moments later.
My old pal Confusion has struck once again. I checked my train departure thing and it says the Clacton train's from platform 10, which is where I am now, but I just spoke to a member of Greater Anglia staff. Apparently all the GEML trains that are going further out are going from platform 10A, which is further down, meaning I've got to go back down again. Bloody Stratford, I'm not a fan of this place.
10 minutes.
Now we're on the correct platform, 10A, where I'm waiting for my train that's going to Clacton and getting off at Ingatstone. Now, this is actually the part of the station where the West Anglia shuttle comes in, the train that goes to Meridian Water via Tottenham Hale. You might have seen that in the Fleet Review if you remember. And it just has this massive gap between the platforms that intrigues me. Definitely intrigues me. I don't think there's any other rail station that has that kind of area where there isn't an entrance. Maybe there would be an entrance there in the future. I've got no idea. Anyway, I'll see you when my train to Ingatstone arrives. Get on our Greater Anglia train, I should probably explain how the Crosslink service was able to go from the North London line to the Great Eastern Main Line. And well, the simple answer is, it just didn't terminate there, like the overground trains do currently. Now, of course, I've done a video on the North London line to North Woolwich, but it didn't go along there. It probably just used a simple track link between that part of the North London line out of Hackney onto the Great Eastern Main Line towards Norwich. So that's how the trains were able to go from the North London line to the Great Eastern Main Line. So they probably pulled in right here.
Service to Clacton-on-Sea. Clacton-on-Sea.
On a slightly busy train now. This is the last train of the journey. Let's go to Ingatstone. So as we head up the Great Eastern Main Line, I think I should probably mention the calling patterns that trains had on the Crosslink service. Now, as a surprise to me, Shenfield was not served. The train I'm on right now stops at Shenfield before Ingatstone, but Shenfield was never served. Romford was, although apparently very briefly. And also the terminating point of this point of the line is quite up for debate as well about what was the main terminating point. Some say it's in various places, but I'll explain that when we get to Ingatstone. But for the moment, the trains would basically go express to Ingatstone, and occasionally they'd stop at Romford. But anyway, we're now on the Great Eastern Main Line, basically the line that the TOC that ran the service operated on. Of the trains I've ridden today, this has got to be the most scenic journey of them all. Fast, and we're travelling through the Essex countryside, so it's very nice. Anyway, not too long to go now until we get to Ingatstone. Of course, you've got to stop at Shenfield first, but nearly done. Okay, we've made it to Shenfield, next stop Ingatstone, and the end of our insane Crosslink journey. Well, not the full journey, but you know, we've come across London without going through the centre, which is pretty cool.
Ingatstone, Chelmsford, Whittam, Colchester.
As much as I love 720s, the gap between the seats in the aisles can be really annoying. Ingatestone. I must say, Ingatestone does have a very, very nice old station building, and it's all very, very historic. I think the only thing that might have been changed is this bridge might have had to be changed for electrification, because they always have to change bridges for electrification. No idea. But anyway, really, really nice station. Here we are, we've made it to Ingatestone, the end of our massive journey across London from Feltham. And of course, you know, the Crosslink service, it didn't terminate here, it carried on up the Great Eastern Main Line, but you've all kind of seen that already. It's the same main line all the way to Norwich. Sometimes it went to Norwich, sometimes it went to Ipswich, sometimes it went to Colchester. The terminus point is really confusing, but the point is, it came here. It came from Basingstoke, round the Hounslow Loop, up the Chertsey line, through the North London line, and then up the Great Eastern Main Line through Ingatestone. Anyway, that's going to be the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this little adventure, guys, and see you in the next one. Bye!